Hi friends, welcome to Aishusdiy. In this video, we will learn how to make this cute earrings. Um, so this is the earrings. I made in two different types. One is double swirl, as you can see, with the beads inside, and then one is this one. I haven't attached it to the ear wire, but um, this is how it is. So there are two types. In this you can even wear it without the beads. It will also look really nice. It's like a twisted it twirls like a twisted wire that comes on both sides. So there is two patterns. First, in this video we will see the first one, and then we will go ahead and see the second one. So in this I have used a 3 by 4 millimeter, I think 4 by 5 millimeter or 3 by 4 millimeter um, beads, roundel beads in a matte finish, and this one is light lilac, and this one is the green one is um, round size 6 millimeter, 6 by 4, I guess 6 by 5 somewhat. And then there were 80 pieces in this strand. This is the one I used. It has two tone, as you can see, two colors. One side is green, mint green, and the other side is a little bit brownish color. So this is the color I used for this earring. I mean, this is the color I'm planning to use for my earrings, not this pattern. This pattern we will see in the next video, and we'll see this pattern, how to make this. For this you need 20 gauge wire or 18 gauge wire. It's totally up to you, but I would say go with the dead soft or softer wire than the hard German style wire. For this earrings I used para wire 20 gauge, and then for one of my pattern I have also used 18 gauge. This one is 18 gauge. This is from BB Craft. This wire is the one that I used for this, but these are not supposed to be very strong because it's an aluminum wire, but the copper wire is much better for this option, because anyways this cannot be squished, because this is a little bit you can't sit, obviously you can't sit anything heavy on top of this. It won't hold its shape, so you need to be careful about that. And on top of that, I made also the ear wire with a 20 gauge wire, but if you want to use a separate ear wire you can use it. So it's totally up to you. The beads are totally up to you too, as long as it fits inside the coil. If you have a bigger bead and you want to do this bigger, then all you need to do is make the frame big. I used this bagel making pliers. I used the last but the next one. This is the size that I used, but you can also use a simple pencil or a marker. Anything will work fine. Apart from that, we need some round nose pliers, wire cutters, and flat nose pliers or needle nose pliers, whichever is comfortable for you. First, I thought of using a silver color for this, but then I thought copper is nice, and especially this shiny metal copper looks really nice for this wall, is what I'm thinking. So I shall go ahead and cut myself about say 1 foot. So we need a ruler to measure that. That is my ruler, and I will measure about a foot of wire. If you can also go a little bit longer, but a foot is more than enough, is in my opinion. So I'm just going to cut the wire about a foot. There we go. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to use my nylon jaw pliers to straighten the wire a little bit, because once you start swirling you won't be able to straighten the wire. So it's better to straighten the wire. You can also work in the spool if you want, but you can also cut it and use it. Okay, we don't need these pliers now, but we will need this. So there we go. Take one end, and this is the size I used. You can use any size you want. Just put it inside the mandrel just so that you don't see anything, and then start rotating it. How you would make jump ring. That's exactly how you're going to roll this. Just make sure you start rolling from the bottom and it's tight. It can be wobbly. Just make sure that you pull this wire and make the circles tight, as tight as possible. And I'm just shifting this just a little and making some rounds and squishing those together. Just like that. I'm going in a outward motion right here, and I'm pulling this wire also at the same time so that it's nice and tight and it's not loose. And then once you get it at the tip, you can just fold this wire just like this and then go over it like that, so that every inch of it actually coils, become a coil, just like that. And then remove it from the mandrel, the pliers. All you need to do now is pick up the ends. So you can also pick up the end tip of this wire here and here and then split it up, but I like to have much more control if I do it here, just a little bit, half a circle around, and here too. You can also use your pliers, but hands are more than enough to use this to make this work. And just hold on to it, just loosen this up a little bit. Okay, once you get hold of this and this, you're going to do this, just one roll, just like that, and stretch it. Stretch it as much as you can, because this will give you the length of your earring per se. So now what I do is I just go to the middle of this. So I count the loops: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is going to be the middle. I take my needle nose or tweezer nose pliers and then just hold one more time. I will find the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one is going to be the 5, and then this is going to be the middle of my earring. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bend this down just like that, and then kind of twist this wire together. Just like that. Now we have a double coil. You can adjust this a little bit as you go, like that. So to make these two together, and then this is how you will attain the shape. So now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this down and then do the same thing with the next pair. I like to do it like section wise, so it's easy and you don't forget what you did recently. But if you like to do the one whole earring and then move on to the next half of the pair, that's fine as well. So here we go, our 1 foot length of wire. I just don't measure it very close to it. I just leave a little bit of a gap. Okay, and now I have this. Then as I said, we need to straighten this wire with our nylon jaw pliers. Just like so. And then take our wire, keep it inside the mandrel, just about in the middle, and start rolling it. And then if you do it this way, it's easier. It is, in my opinion, to do it like this. Make sure the coils are nice and tight. For that, I like to hold the wire right next to the mandrel and do it, and not pull it like that. But whichever is comfortable for you is what I want you to work with. Let's do just a little bit twist at a time so that the coils are nice and uniform and it's not going on top of each other, and it sits right next to each other, just like that. I'm holding the length of the wire in my finger, and then I'm doing it with my right hand, and I'm moving it away from my body. There we go. After you do a couple of them, you'll get a hang of it. Trust me, it's not hard, it's easy. I don't like to cut any wire. I just like to fold everything nice in a coil, and that's it. Now we take this and just move it like that a little bit, and take the end, and then it's like a spring, you know, just expands like a spring. Once you're okay with the coil, now you can go ahead and measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is the center. Okay, there we go. All you need to do is now bend this one, and bring the coil around. There we go. So we have this double coil, as you can see. You can adjust this a little bit, but you won't have a lot of adjustment per se. Okay, so now as you see, there is a gap between these two, so I need to adjust this just a little bit, and when you look at it from here, this should be mostly coming this way, so that when we hang our beads it will come down really nicely. And then I want you to put these two together and see how it goes, right? And this is seems to be a little bit longer, so I will go ahead, and anyways these two wires are little bit not in the same length, so I cut this, then make these like rounded a little, and now these two are a little bit same on the similar side. All you need to do is just bend this wire together just like that, and we have our swirly structure right here. Then what we are going to do is we are going to go ahead and make the bead structure that we want, that goes through the center of the spiral here. So for that you need the same 20 gauge wire. I'm going to work with the spool. If you want, you can work with by cutting it off. I already ruined my nail polish. It's of no use for me. I wire work a lot. And then also my eyes is a little bit wobbly. I went for an eye appointment today for 3 hours. So my eye is numb and they have dilated it. So I am not very up to my mark usually. So if there is any mistake, it's because of that. Excuse me. Okay, now I made a loop, and then I bend it again here. I snip it off about a centimeter, and then take my round nose pliers and make a loop. So basically I'm making loops on both sides, as you can see. Set it aside. So we are going to make links like how we did the beaded chain. That's how we are going to make links, and then we are going to make it suspend inside here with the ear wire. So that's what I'm going to make. I like to make without losing any wire if we use it in the spool, or else cut about an inch of an wire. 1 inch should be good for 6mm bead. 6 by 4mm bead, 1 inch should be good, or else you can work with the spool like this. Bend the wire at 90 degrees, take your round nose pliers and roll it to make a simple loop, and then the other end just bend the wire after the bead, yes, like that. Cut about a centimeter or so. I just eyeball it. If you want, you can measure it and cut it, and take your round nose pliers and make the loop. So I will make several loops. We need 1 2 3 4 5 loops with this wire, and we need a head pin. If you don't want to use a head pin, you can make a head pin with this wire itself. But if you want, we need one more head pin for the last bead, two head pins for the last bead in the dangle. It looks nicer this way, as you can see, right? So that's what we need. I'll do all the links and I'll come back. I made 5 dangles for each earring, and then here's my head pin. So I put one bead inside the head pin, and then bend the wire right above, just leaving a little bit of a distance. There we go. And then cut this about a centimeter or so. Do the same for the next one. So bend the wire, just keeping it right on top of the bead to 90 degrees. Cut about a centimeter. And now take your round nose pliers and make a loop. There we go, just a nice big loop. And then do the same for the other earring as well. And now we have to join all of these together, and we will also make ear wire. So for ear wire, my measurement is about 1.5 inches is all I take for ear wires. If you want a little bit more longer ear wire, you can add about 1.34 inches. So about 1.5, and just snip it off here. I take 2 measurements of whatever I cut. That way it'll be exactly the same. Okay, so I flush cut both the ends. Then take my round nose pliers. You can also do it with this pliers, so that you can do both at the same time. Otherwise you need to mash the loop pretty well. There we go, just roll it on. Okay, fine. So there's your loop. And now all you do is take it, I just like to align both of this wire at the same time so that you will get the same size loop into the mandrel. Hold it right there, make sure both are at the same height. For some reason this one is wobbly. Let's see. And then bend this wire together just like so. Now you can adjust it. If you want, you can, I think I'm going to cut just a little bit. I don't need this big one. That's good enough. And there we go, our ear wire is ready. All we need to do is put this aside. First, let's just join all of these together. Open up one of the loop, any loop, whichever you want, doesn't matter. Add the next dangle, close the loop, open up the next loop, add the dangle, close it up, open the other one, take the other one, close it, so we have 4, and the 5th one, adding it to the chain, and the last one, add the dangle with the one that we made with the head pin, that dangle. And that's what we have right now. Do the same for this one. we can quickly finish this. If you want, you can have the one-step looper. I don't have one, but you can buy that one-step looper. That way you will have only one tool to use it. You don't have to constantly shift between needle nose pliers, round nose pliers, and wire cutters. It'll make the loop for you and cut it. So if that's something that you like, go ahead and buy those. That'll be easier for you to make more loops. And then our dangle is ready here. Now all we need to do is open up the ear wire, add our frame that we created, and then I want this to be inside the ear wire as well, but just put it inside like that, and then put the ear wire through this and the frame together just like so, and then close your ear wire. So if it is not fully inside, all you can do is just twist this again just like that, and that will put all the beads inside the frame completely, just like so. So here we have, if the wire is a little bit longer, if you want one more dangle, you can add one more dangle. That way it will look like this earrings. Whichever look you prefer is what you will make. So that's how you make that. And I'll tell you guys one more time. Open up your ear wire. Okay, so put this inside. Just the topmost loop is fine, because you can actually do the rest. And add this frame, anywhere is fine, just in the top, and then this dangle. And then close the ear wire, and then you can figure this out. Just rotate it around the swirl, and the beads will fall into place nicely. There we go. As you can see, it barely makes it, the beads barely makes it to the last loop. But if you want the lengthier one, you can just reduce either the coils or extend one more link of the bead. That's about it. I hope you guys like this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification. I do upload videos every day. Comes around Pacific 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye.